All right, we are recording. Hello, Robbie.
Hi, what's up?
Well, welcome to the MemeWorks podcast. You are actually my very first solo guest. My friends unfortunately could not make this one, but that's okay. But yes, a little something about Robbie. I've only known her a little bit, but you know, she's lovely. She's one of the sweetest people I know. She's got a really interesting topics to talk about, and I feel like she's going to be a great guest tonight. So everybody give a round of applause for her. Clap, 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 clap.
I'm clapping. I'm clapping.
Okay.
That was lovely.
But yeah, I know I already asked this, but how are you? Let the people know.
I'm doing okay. I'm baked.
Well, I thought your name was Robbie, but I'm Austin. Nice to meet you.
Oh, yeah. My name is Robbie, but Robbie is baked.
Okay. Before I start getting into the questions, I'd just like to have our guests kind of describe themselves a little bit, the best they can. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just say whatever you want to say.
About anything?
Like, if you were to describe yourself in, one sentence, be like, hi, this is me, this is what I do, this and that.
Oh, I'd say, I am a mystery box of surprises and confusion.
I do get the surprises part, but why the confusion? Are you confused, or...?
Yeah, I'm confused. And everybody else around me is confused. I really don't know how, I'm different. My taste changes so fast. I like one thing, and then I like a different thing in the, same category, and I, switch hobbies a lot. And I'm just always, changing what I like, and then sometimes what I like, I don't like. But I can never figure out, what the pattern is. So it's always, a confusion thing.
It's always, you just go with the flow, spontaneous, kind of, this is my life, I'm going to just live it and figure it out as I go.
Essentially, yeah, but also sometimes if it's too go with the flow, I get really, uptight and want, a schedule. So, I'm confused what I want. Easygoing, maybe, or do I want a schedule? I don't know, sometimes, but other times, no.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I feel like every person in the world needs to have some kind of structure. It's just kind of good for the soul, and without that, you're kind of just oh, all right, well, what am I doing? Where am I going? I'm waking up.
Yeah, exactly.
Do I piss? Okay, cool, I piss, but now what?
The confusion. I have to figure out what to eat for breakfast every day. I'm tired.
Man, sometimes I don't even eat breakfast, so I feel that.
Oh, yeah. Some days. But I really like eating cereal every morning for breakfast. That's, my one thing I do every single day. Eat a bowl of cereal.
You know what? I'm going to be a bit controversial here, but I hate cereal.
Really? I'll eat cereal. My diet is fucking cereal.
I'll eat maybe Fruit Loops or Frosted Flakes, but besides that, I'm nah. I'd rather
really?
Yeah, I'm more of an eggs and toast and bacon kind of guy.
Oh, I am cereal, but I did learn how to make an omelet, and now I'm really good at making omelets. They're so bomb. Dude, I eat it for lunch though.
They're so fire.
They're so good, and I can make one without breaking it, because you know how the fold is always, it's the worst part, but I have mastered the fold, and I'm so proud of it.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. All right, so let's see, I do got some questions written down here for you. So tell me about your addiction with crack. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I was how did you know?
So tell me about bath salts. What's that like?
How did you know? Damn, you're smart.
Oh shit. So hey, it's when you know, you know. But in all seriousness, this is a good one. So, has there been a time, or has there ever been a time that you have been really high and had a really funny or interesting story? And that doesn't have to just be weed; it can be anything.
Do you want to hear about the first time I ever ate an edible?
You know what? Absolutely, because my last podcast we talked about our edible stories too. So this sounds great.
Oh God, edibles fuck me up so bad, man. I don't know what it is, but anyway, so this is the first time I ever had an edible. I went to my boyfriend at the time's house because he was leaving for Fargo the next day, and it was like a game night with his mom, his sister, and his brother, and we were all playing Monopoly. And his mom like got up and was on the phone, and so my boyfriend was playing for her, so we could just keep playing the game. And he had it given me the edible before I walked in the door. I ate it really quick, and then we started playing the game, and then it hit me really hard after his mom stood up, and she didn't know that I had eaten an edible, but Dustin kept like moving the board piece around and not like letting anyone else play, just kept like going around the board, and I thought it was so funny, so I started laughing, and I can't stop, and I'm like, shit, bro, this edible got me really, really bad. And my boyfriend's sister looked at me, she's like, did you eat a special snack? And I'm like, shut up, no, I didn't. Laughing, crying, I can't breathe. And I'm like, bro, like, I don't want his mom to see me like this. Like, this was like my first serious relationship, and like the first time like hang out with his family. Like, I was really anxious already, and then that edible just like took me. So I start blacking out at this point. I'm so high, and I'm like, Dustin, we need to go to your room, but I can't move. Like, I can't get up and walk down the stairs. You have to carry me. He's struggling to carry me for some reason, gets me downstairs, and I don't remember a couple bits here, and then I remember his mom coming into the room on the phone, like FaceTiming some like family friends in the South, and they were like trying to talk to me, and I'm like laughing, and I have the blanket in my face. I'm like, bro, they cannot see me like this. And I'm like, fuck. So I'm freaking out, and I'm so high, and I'm just so hyper aware of how high I am and how uncomfortable it is, and I'm like in tears, and his mom still doesn't understand. Like, she's oblivious, doesn't really suspect anything. Dustin's like trying to calm me down because I'm freaking out. They walk out, and then some of our friends had come over, and they're like, all right, let's go to the garage. And so we get to the garage, and they keep trying to pass me blunts and joints, and I'm like, guys, no, please don't do this to me. I'm sitting on the floor in a blanket, rubbing my face onto this blanket for like probably 10 minutes. I was so high, and it felt really, really good. It felt so good to rub my face on this blanket. Everybody's smoking a blunt. His mom comes out, sees that we're smoking, and she's like, thanks for like being here, like not being out in public and smoking, like keep it in here. And then she looks at me on the floor, rubbing my face in the blanket, and she's like, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, my face is just really itchy. And she's like, okay. Goes back in. And I'm like, fuck. And Dustin's like, bro, are you good? And I'm like, I need to like sleep. And so we go back and go to bed. And I'm like, fuck, I still live with my parents at the time. I'm like, I can't spend the night. My mom asked me to be home. So it's like 4 a.m. And I'm like, you need to drive me home. And he's like, yeah, no, that's fine. Like, that's, like, he knew but had forgotten. So we start driving home, and I'm like, bro, you need to pull over. And he's like, why? And I'm like, I'm about to throw up. I don't have anything in my stomach. I didn't know you had to pre-eat before eating an edible. I had just eaten it on an empty stomach. And I didn't realize that. And then I was dry heaving on the side of the highway, like in tears at 4 a.m. Like, bro, what did I just consume? And then I get back in the car, go home, go to bed. I slept for like 8 hours straight. Did not wake up. It was a nightmare.
You know what's funny about that is that every story I ever hear about someone's first time doing edibles is... Oh, by the way, I got my camera working, so hello.
Okay, I could probably get mine working. I don't know how well it's going to be.
Yeah, it looks fine to me.
Block
what?
Block the sun because the sun's shining.
Oh, it looks fine though. I can hardly tell.
Okay.
But yeah, what I was saying is every time I hear a story about someone taking an edible for the first time, they normally have no idea what they're getting into, no preparation. Their friends are like, "Oh yeah, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it." It's like, no. Yeah. What do you mean?
Because they all had the same edibles. Because one of our friends made it, and then everybody else had theirs before I had mine. Because I couldn't join them when they all ate them. And they were like, no, we all felt fine. It was our first edible. Like, all of them had just had their first edibles, and they were like, it was great. We got really high, and it was fine. And I think that they were just more prepared than I was. Like, they ate before. They were well hydrated. They weren't, like, couple days, no sleep kind of situation. Whereas, like, I went in not drinking water, not sleeping, like, no food, because I'm, like, a fucking train wreck. And I just ate the brownie. I was like, yeah, that's sustenance. It was not. It was awful. It was so bad.
Well, we're glad you're here. You didn't die, so there's that.
Yeah, I don't think the edible would have killed me, but it was not fun.
No, it's not. But I've known people who are like, oh my god, this is it. This is how my life ends. I'm going to die. I can't breathe. Is God real? Yeah. Like,
manual breathing is for real. Manual breathing is Awful.
That's exactly why I don't smoke anymore, because I used to love it, but like if I get to a point where I have to, oh shit, my autonomous nervous system is not working. Now I have to figure out how to do this myself.
Yeah, like this is supposed to be auto, not manual, and then yeah, it's been rough, but I'm okay with edibles now. I mean, sometimes I'll like dose a little bit too much and not realize. Homemade edibles are hardcore no for me now. But like if it's from like a shop and it's like pre-calculated or whatever, I can usually tolerate a little bit. But edibles are rough.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I'm the same way. I can do the ones from the shop, but even still, I gotta stay home and not go do anything because
Yeah, I'm a potato. I am one with the couch.
either that or I'm just like so in my head, and my friends will be looking at me like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm just like, "What? Huh? Oh yeah, let's go do this, sure."
Brain becomes mashed potatoes.
Indeed, indeed. So I remember when we were talking last time, the first time we met, which by the way, that was a very interesting experience. It kind of came out of nowhere, but it was so fun though. You know, I was like, hey, I don't know you. Like, I don't really know you either. Want to hang out? I was like, okay, sure. I live like 90 minutes away. I was like, oh.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. I was severely manic last year. All of last year I was so badly manic, but like it was an adventure. It always is.
Oh no, for sure. It's just the fact that I was a stranger. I was like, oh, but what if I'm like a serial killer? You know, like.
You know, manic brain does not think. I had no thoughts, just ideas.
Oh yeah, me too.
Mhm.
Oh, did I tell you the story that happened last weekend at Skyway?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I was hanging out with some friends and just having like a normal night, like I normally do. And then one of my buddies, we're not like super close, but we're definitely not close anymore after what happened. He bought me a drink, and this isn't the first time he's done this. Normally he buys me a drink, and I'm like, okay, cool, thank you. So I start drinking it. I was like, okay, I'm feeling a little buzzed. Sure, whatever. Just on the dance floor, having a good time, headbanging, talking to people. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I feel a little silly. I feel a little wonky right now. Is this the liquor? And
oh no!
And it started just progressively getting more and more and more intense. I'm like,
yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I didn't take anything else tonight, so I went to go sit down for a second, and everything was just spinning. Everything was so bad. And then one of my other friends comes up to me, and I'm just like so loopy and out of it. I'm just like, hey man, how you doing? I was like, I'm having a great time and stuff like that. He's like, are you okay? It's like, I think someone spiked my drink, but I'm okay. I'm pretty sure I was roofied. I mean, I cannot promise this. I don't know for sure, but I was definitely more than drunk. Let's just say that.
Yeah, Skyway has been having a lot of people. My friend just went to the show last weekend and she got drugged. Which is crazy. Like, that's so messed up.
It is messed up. And, you know, I feel like it happens to women a lot more than it does men. So it makes me wonder, because me and this dude were really cool before. Like, we'd always talk at shows and hang out. So I'm wondering if he meant to give me a different drink.
Maybe.
And not that one. But either way, that doesn't excuse what you did. Like, you were intending to fuck someone up. But I was just like, bro, what? What's happening?
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna roofie me, at least take advantage of me. Fuck, not actually.
Just give me the drugs. I would just take the free drugs. You didn't even have to like hide it from me. Just tell me you got the drugs, and I'd do them.
Right. It's like shit. At least take me to dinner first, all right?
Yeah.
But no. But I woke. The reason I brought that up because you were talking about being manic, and when I woke up the next morning, I felt so manic and like just like. All
Damn,
over the place.
What drug do you think it was?
I don't know. Whatever it is, I don't think I've ever experienced it before. So.
Okay, that's the worst part.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine. I'm okay. I didn't get raped.
Yeah, that's probably the best part.
My other friend, I kept saying the line from Black Ops 1 where I was like, the numbers, Mason, what do they mean? And I don't know why I was saying that, but I want to know.
Oh my god. That's super scary though. That's kind of why I stopped going out. Like, it's just, I'd rather not be drugged just because I'm buying a drink. Just that risk.
Right, and the fact that it happens as often as it does is just...
Yeah, and it's been a huge increase. Just hearing more and more, like, every weekend, like, people are saying they were drugged again and again. It's just insane.
And it's like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not an absolute piece of shit, but if I were to roofie someone and then basically rape them when they're unconscious, that just sounds like a not fun experience for anyone. Like, just at that point, just go jerk off and go home. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you ruining someone's life and traumatizing them?
That's just some people, though. Yeah. That's just... It sucks. It's awful.
Yeah, you're not wrong. That's why I try to look out for people when I'm there, because I've seen things I wish I did not see.
Yeah.
But on a happier topic, I have another question for you.
Okay.
Back to, like... Yeah, so, I know when we first hung out, you were telling me that you have autism, and I was wondering how that has affected your life, and do you think there's any pros or cons to it? Like, what's your outlook on it?
Well, I think I have autism, just because there's so many signs. Like, I have so much sensory issues to the point where it's like, I remember vividly just having meltdowns in the grocery store is the worst place on earth. It is it's so bad to be in a grocery store. But remembering, like, my mom having to deal with me having tantrums, like, just remember not understanding why I was melting down, but that I was uncomfortable. And I still get moments, like, if my socks are positioned weird, I start, like, I get so agitated when my socks just feel weird. Or when my skin is, like, super itchy, like, all over. Not, like, a regular itch, but I want to rip off my skin just because I touched the wrong texture. Mm-hmm. My lack of, like... not understanding sarcasm. Like, I'm so sarcastic, and I have such a dry sense of humor, but when somebody else is sarcastic around me, I don't get it. I think they're being serious. I can't read people's emotions or faces, so I'm like... It's difficult to navigate relationships when you can't really feel or, like, see how somebody's reacting to a situation. So when somebody's sad, I can't see it. And so when they're, like, say that they're fine, but they don't mean that they're fine, I don't think that they don't mean that they're fine. I think that they are fine. And then just move on, and then, like, they're crying later. It's like, oh, okay, so you are sad. And then, yeah, so I really don't know how... It's, like, my normal, so I don't know if it's, like, completely wrong or, like, something that's challenging. But, like, mostly my relationships are challenging. Like, trying to, like, navigate those, you know?
Oh, no, trust me. I know all too well. I mean, I ghost people. The
ghosting is, like...
I do that. I have trouble with eye contact. Like, I'm looking at a camera, so I'm not even looking at you, so...
I don't know if you were able to tell, but I've been looking everywhere, but I'll check back in the screen and, like, look for a certain... It's, like, 3 seconds, I think. I read it somewhere, like, you hold your contact for a little bit and then you can move away, because then that means that you're engaged and somebody's listening to you. So I think it's 3 seconds. Like, yeah. That made me so uncomfortable.
Yeah, as it should. But, no, for me, like, I can look at people if they're talking to me, but if I'm talking to them, I will always be looking down or at something else, and it's really hard for me. I don't know why. Okay. But it also feel like it's easier for me to think of my thoughts, too. Because if I'm looking at someone else, like, I don't know, it's complicated, but...
I'm too focused when I'm looking at somebody on their, like, trying to read their face. And that never wins. Like, I can never read somebody's face, ever, so it's, like, pointless. So, like, I'll look away, and I think for, like, 5 seconds, look at the eyes for, like, 2 or 3 seconds, and then look away. And, like, that, like... It seems, like, fluttery. I feel like I might look longer into their eyes. I know there's a number, and it, like, makes people think you're listening without, like, them thinking your eyes are darting around, you know? It's a whole science.
What do you mean by a number?
So, like, you look at somebody's eyes for, like, 3 or 4 seconds while they're talking, and then you look away if you can't look for long periods of time, and then you, like, have to go back, so then they think you're still interested after a certain time period.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're, like... I've met people who tell me they have really bad problems with eye contact to the point where every time we're talking, they will be facing to me like this, to the side, and maybe glance over for like a millisecond and then go back. And it's like, I get it, but like to people who aren't neurodivergent, they might think like, oh, they're just not interested, which is not the case. But you know, it's that's a lot. And as far as the sensory issues, I have those too, where it's like, I don't like artificial heat. Like if I'm having like a heater on my face in a car or in the house, I like freak the fuck out to the point where I get angry.
hate it. It's so, and like when people turn on their like dials all the way up so you can hear the fan blowing. Oh, that shit irritates me. Oh, it's so loud. And it's like, oh, I get it. You're really cold or really hot, but it's so loud. It's so loud.
It is. Or
and then like.
Or no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the artificial heat is like disgusting. It makes me want to gag.
It does make me gag. It makes me cough, which is speaking of the devil. Yeah, it's not fun. But what would you say are some of the good things about autism? At least, because like, let's assume that we both have it, because I'm pretty sure you and I both do. It's just I've been to enough doctors to be like, yeah, you meet a lot of the criteria.
Yeah, and I mean, I was in treatment for a really long time, and they've discussed like testing for different things like ADHD and autism and all that, and just the care. I ended up dropping out of treatment anyways, so I didn't get to do like any of the testings and stuff. But at the same time, it's like, should I maybe should have gone through and gotten tested. Maybe would have gotten better care, but it is what it is.
For sure. Not to mention, it's hard to test for it because you have to find a very special practitioner.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like bias in psychology and like treatments and stuff. Which, I mean, it is what it is. Mental health and like treatment and stuff is advanced, but not to where it could be.
For sure. And I think it varies from person to person because not everyone's going to learn the same way. And I know they try to teach things in ways to help like their client in need and like attend to what is important to them. And it's like, it's not that simple.
It's really not. And everybody's brain is different. So some symptoms might make others worse. Some symptoms might not show up at all, but still have the diagnosis, and like there's just so many factors. It's really difficult for any type of diagnosis really with mental health.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, do you think there's anything positive about like autism that you think stands out? Because I personally think there are a lot of great qualities to it that maybe a lot of people aren't quite aware of, or they think that are dumb or lame. But
I'm not really sure. I'm sure there is positive things. I'm not saying like everything about it is negative. But I can't say, like, I think if I'm more creative. I think I'm more creative, but I don't think that's linked to like autism in general. I just have a more technological or like textbook view of like relationships and like the technical terms for like how to manage friendships and relationships and like existing and like emotion expression. Because a lot of like neurotypical people don't like struggle to manage their emotions. Like they understand how to do it in a way and it's like second nature to them. Whereas like I feel like I had to like study and learn how to express emotions and handle relationships in a more textbook way. So I feel like that might be a plus that's helped me manage my relationships a little bit better, but it's also not always textbook answers. Sometimes the answer is different.
And I think, well, for autism, I think one of the issues is like we're brought into this world where most people don't have it. Mm-hmm. And we think we're normal just like everyone else growing up until we start to like learn and understand that may not be the case. And that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means we have to navigate things differently because of the way we interpret people, the way we interpret situations, being able to not read certain just read people or situations in general too. However, though, I feel like part of that makes us what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like part of that makes us way more interesting than people like that. Not all the time. I've met plenty of people who are autistic that are fun, but all the ones that I have are either my best friends or they're some of the funniest, most creative, most down-to-earth people, most caring, They have a way with words, and they aren't afraid to express their emotions in ways that most people wouldn't. And I find that fascinating, and I think that is just a beautiful thing about it, personally.
Yeah, there's definitely pluses, but it's also like it's different across every person. I think even neurotypicals can be some of the most creative. I think it's just again, it all depends on the person, really.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like that, like I was saying, it's not always that way, but just maybe in my
Yeah.
experience, that's how I've experienced
Yeah,
it.
because I've definitely met like some of my closest friends are all like neurodivergent, and it's all just like an interesting take on the world. Like everything is done a little bit differently, like routine wise, or like yeah, routine wise, like everything's placed a little bit differently than the norm.
That reminds me of a meme I saw the other day on Facebook where someone said, "Squishmallows are just autistic beanie babies." That's awesome.
The squishmallows are so nice, though. I love squishmallows. I think they're the greatest, like, most comfortable thing ever. I love holding a squishmallow. It feels so nice.
Give me 1 second.
They're definitely.
Oh, trust me, I know. I have a couple. I have a couple myself. They're fucking awesome. They make great body pillows, and
They just.
I wore this one on a necklace to a show once because I was like, "Fuck it, why not?" And it was the best icebreaker ever. People would
Oh,
always
yeah.
ask about it.
I love bringing my squishmallows to shows. I had one in my car, but I think I brought it out because it's not in here anymore.
Which one was it?
Oh God, I rotate. I had the anglerfish, the purple mini one. I had my squid cat one. At one point, I had my giant oxalotl, the blue one. In here. At one point, I kept him in the front seat, and I'd seatbelt him before I'd drive anywhere.
That's adorable.
Well, safety first. My little ones, though, I'd just shove in the back seat and hope for the best for them.
It's like you're on your own. Good luck.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, no, I cleaned out my car recently though, so I think I brought them in.
All right. Well, now I gotta. Oh man, this is a deep one. What? And I wish my other friend was here because I would ask him the same question. But what would you say is the key to a happy life?
Oh,
Welcome to therapy.
well, actually, I have a really good story about this. And I used to be like I was in treatment for like about 6 years, I believe. I was in treatment for a while. I was just like miserably depressed, like just going nowhere in life. Didn't really see much for the future, and I was going on. I went on so I found my reason of happiness in life after a 3-day Coke bender with my coworker. So I was at this house party with him. And it was like probably like 8 a.m. We had gone through so many bags, just like obliterated, drunk as well. Like it was really bad. It was probably the worst bender I've ever been on my life. And we were sitting in some section where this guy was mixing music, and me and my coworker were just sitting. And I don't know what I said that brought up the question, but he mentioned that he thinks people are so miserable or like just unhappy with life because they don't have faith in something. And he's religious, and so he has faith in God, and he expressed like getting through some losses that he had in his life, and to get through his grief he had faith. And I kind of just sat there and I really thought about it, and I was like, I don't really have faith in anything in particular. And so I sat on his words for a while. I ended up going home at like 11 a.m. just like sleep deprived, hadn't eaten in a couple days, just like coked out, just miserable, rethinking all of my life choices. I had been about 5 or 6 months into my coke addiction at this point, and I think this is the bender that made me really focus on trying to quit coke and accept that I was an addict and try to move on from that. But I sat there on the quote about him just saying, like, about not having faith. And he was absolutely right. And he was like, it doesn't matter what faith it is. You just have to have faith in something. And I quoted it to one of my closest friends, and they were like, absolutely, I didn't realize, but I did have faith in something. And I'm miserable, but overall leading to a happier life. So I think for a happier life, the answer would be for me faith, just having faith in anything, something, and that could do wonders for your life.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that. I feel like, well, this is gonna sound very corny, but like I've heard so many times, like sometimes all you gotta believe in is yourself, and like it sounds cliche, but there's
so
a lot
true.
to that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know, and it took me a while to try and find faith in just literally anything. And I think I'm about 1 month off of Coke now. I'm like officially like really getting through to it. I think it's just because I sat there and believed in myself. Like, yeah, I can do it. I can still live. In the end, I'll be okay. I'm always okay. And so
Well, that's
I found my
awesome.
faith in. Yeah, so now I'm doing a lot better. Like, I mean, life still sucks and I have my moments, but overall, I think I am leading to a much better, healthier life, and I am so excited for it.
Right, and there's a lot of growth in that too, because maybe your life still isn't the best, but instead of having a bad day and doing a bunch of coke, you're just having a bad day and being a strong person and dealing with it just the way you
Yeah.
can. And I think that takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength to do. So you should definitely be proud of yourself for that.
Yeah, no, it was a rough year last year, so finding a different crutch other than drugs and like trying to erase it and bury it, journaling, art, getting more into like gaming a little bit, hanging out with family again. I've rebuilt a lot of my relationships with my family, and it's just a lot better. I still get the cravings of wanting Coke because like life is still hard. It's hard to deal with, and Coke is easy, but I definitely have noticed it's been way better already.
And I bet you just feel better physically too.
Oh my god, the Coke hangovers. I think about that every time I go out and I stay sober. I'm like, you know what I'm not gonna have tomorrow? A Coke hangover, and I go to bed so happy. I'm able to sleep. I wake up refreshed. I can go to work without a nasty headache and icky body. Like, it is on God so amazing. It is so nice to just have that again.
Well, I'm really glad you shared that story, Robbie. Thank you. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually start outpatient treatment tomorrow.
Really? That's good.
Yeah, so I guess when I texted you this morning and I said I'm not doing great, I lost my job and all that. I was a delivery driver for like pizza or Papa John's, and I was making awesome money. But like rewind back to like July of last year, I got a DUI and I had to go to court, and that's why I'm going to treatment, and I go on EHM tomorrow as well, like home monitoring. And
Yeah.
so the fact that I had that job was crazy, and I thought that was kind of weird. Like, how do they not see this on my background check, right? And then after one delivery, about 4 or 5 days ago, I come back and my boss is standing outside, and she's like, "Hey, I need to talk to you for a second." I'm like, "Sure, what's up?" It's like, "Well, and by the way, I've been working here for 3 months, so."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, your background check came back, and we can't let you drive anymore." I was like, "Are you serious? Is there anything I can do about this?" They're like, "No, we gotta let you go. I'm sorry." So that's kind of been like a wake up call for me personally, because I really like that job.
Yeah, that's crazy though that it took 3 months and they still hired you.
I think it's because I was still going to court while all this was happening, so it wasn't officially on my record yet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess they get like a notification on their end saying like, "Oh, a new update on their background check," or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
But like, it was really tough for me, and that's why I've been struggling, because my mental health makes it hard for me to work jobs around people. Like,
Oh, yeah, it's excruciating. It's so hard.
like trying to act normal, so to speak, or try to understand like what's going on, or I have a learning disorder and I'm sometimes slow, and then I get like yelled at for it, and it's like all these things that just they kind of all pile up, and it's like I don't want a job like that. So when I had one where I could drive around, deliver food, listen to music and podcasts, like that was great, and making tips along the way. Anyways, the reason I bring this up is because alcohol is what caused all of this to begin with. And I'm happy that I'm starting outpatient treatment and going to get the help that I need, because I want to live a life without that kind of stuff. I also want to be able to further myself in my passions like my music and things like this, and not drink every single day to just cope with how bad my life is, and then becoming lazy and getting in more trouble. So it's like the cycle's got to go. It's not worth it at this point. So
Yeah.
and that's why I'm happy you told that story, because like I feel like there are a lot of people, a lot of addicts who deal with and struggle with things like that, who are inspired by hearing stories like that. So
Yeah. It's always good. I always feel like I overshare, but I've never like had somebody outwardly say that I share too much, but it's better to see how many people tell me that they feel more comfortable to talk to me about stuff, and how much better they feel after talking. And even just like hearing like stories about how someone else is going through something and how they deal with things can really help you learn new coping skills, and kind of have like a little glimmer of hope to get like better. Like somebody else got better, and so now I want to get better because I was inspired.
exactly. And I don't think you overshare. You know, I feel like people undershare. So, a lot of people, they hold back, and it's like I understand. Like it's sometimes uncomfortable to share things, but like you know, I feel like you get to learn a lot about a person that way, and not just about them, but hearing their story, you learn a lot about yourself too.
Yeah.
So I think,
It's just,
sorry, what?
I was just gonna say, it's pretty nice. It's great that when people share.
Absolutely, and that's why you're one of my homies. Because when we first hung out, like we talked like we've known each other forever, even though it was like the first time talking. So I thought that was cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it's really great when two people can connect. Because I've like talked to people and just felt nothing, and like it was awkward. But then other times, like I'll meet somebody and it's like we've been best friends for years. We've been here together, going through life and all that.
Hell yeah, fuck yeah. All right. Let's see. Now, speaking of Skyway, what exactly got you into the EDM scene? And then what do you like about it, and what do you not like about it?
So 2019. Honestly, so 2019, October was a show, and the headliner was Eptic, and my girlfriend at the time brought me to it. So I was dating this girl. She was into the scene already, and I met her, and she was like, "Hey, did you want to go?" And I was like, "I've never been to one, but I used to make candy and perler beads when I was like 12, and dreamed of going to a rave, and just never did because I didn't know how to get into the scene." So my first girlfriend brought me to Eptic 2019. And I have met so many wonderful people across the scene. Some of my closest friends are in the scene, and festivals. Festivals are some of my favorite. Like Infrasound Festival, that's my favorite festival of all time. It's amazing. It's beautiful. Just the positive community. Everybody's so great and lovely. And they're very welcoming. There's like, it's a judgment-free zone. And just getting to wear something that you're comfortable in, that you normally wouldn't wear out, getting to dress up, getting ready for the shows, all that's so fun. But yeah, just dancing with my closest friends is probably some of my favorite thing of the scene. My least favorite is the, basically the chads. You know, the chads of raves who just do too much just to get fucked up at a show. Instead of like going for like
yeah, what's up, ladies? If I'm gonna fuck this pit up tonight and then fuck someone else
just gets way too obliterated and has to be carried out, shit like that.
Or they're like, they go to their homies like, "Oh, you're my bro, dude. I'll fucking do anything for you." Like
that is just like, oh god, it's the worst people. And I mean, I've been grabbed and groped at a show before by men who just think they can. That shit, it's irritating, it's disgusting. But like the community that I'm in, if I whenever somebody touched me or groped me, like somebody would say something to the dude, like there'd be some tension to correct the behavior as best they can, you know.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, I would hope at least.
Yeah, otherwise it's a really great community, not many negatives like at all. I mean, when I went to Electric Forest last year though, very much influencer based, and not environmentally friendly. Like, there's so much litter. Like, people just threw their shit on the ground. Like, it was so messy. And the constant, like, very lots of side eyes. Like, I would walk past and somebody shot and I would, like, apologize. Like, I didn't know they were taking a picture. And they would, like, look like they wanted to stab me. They'd get so aggressive and just go, excuse you. And it's like, I'm sorry. It's all just, it was a very, like, intense environment. It felt like they just wanted to be there for the clout and the pictures and the content. And it was just, like, you could dance. Like, it's really fun to dance. Right. And socialize.
It's not about being the most popular person in the fucking room, you know? It's like, you took the words right out of my mouth with that, like the clouds and people just like there for
content. And no shade to them at all. Get your bag, girl. Get your fucking bag. I'm all for it. But, like, you can do content and still enjoy the festival. And if you're, like, miserable because your entire life is, like, around content, maybe you need to step away from the EDM content and, like, keep the EDM community and the vibes that you got into first before content, like, influencing, and, like, re-spark the love for that, and then maybe slowly bring content back into it, but, like, try to, I don't know, that's just, like, my opinion. Like, no shade, get your bag, but also be a little bit more polite. And if you're miserable making content, take a little break, do content and something else. Enjoy the EDM scene for what it is.
Yeah, and also, like, don't make it your whole personality, because I feel like as soon as somebody gets big, it like overtakes them and they become like, oh, this is how I have to be for the rest of my life, and if I don't, then I'm never going to be better than this person or better than that person. It's like, well, like you said, why did you get into making content in the first place? Like, you don't lose sight of that, you know?
Yeah, don't lose the love. Like, I'm not saying, like, get rid of content completely. Like, I love looking at all the, like, fashion content influencers and, like, some of, like, the visual artists and, like, people recording sets. Like, the people who record sets, on God, I love them, because I hate bringing my phone out at festivals and shows, and just being able to, like, go back and see from somebody else's content is really cool. So definitely get that bag, but also please be a little bit nicer if people bump into you or, like, walk into your shot. People are just existing at a festival.
Exactly. It's not like you can't take another picture either. Like, come on.
Yeah. And I know I have been one to take a billion pictures and only pick, like, 3 out of the, like, bunch, which is, like, I know most people are doing. But, like, one person walking into a couple shots, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. We're all friends here. We all got love. I probably have a rubber ducky in my pocket I can give to you. You know, vibes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I really wanted to go to Infrasound, but at the time I couldn't afford it. But next year, I'm definitely going. Or has it already happened this year or no?
No, it's they just released the lineup. It's in May. May 18th through the 21st.
I think I'll still be on house arrest then. Fuck. It's only 25 days, but
yeah, no,
no, I get off on the 20th of May. Okay.
Oh, you get off May 20th?
Yeah, so it's like right during it.
Oh, damn, that sucks. I think they're gonna do Equinox this year, and there's also Base Rib and Pines. That's in East Bethel.
I also want to go to that one. That sounds fun.
That one's fun. I went to that one last year for my first time. Oh my god, it was so fun. It was so fun. I took I think I took SAS. I took a point of SAS, got in this swimming pool that one of my homies brought, and sat in there for 6 hours, oblivious to how long I had been sitting in there. And people were like, hey, your set that you wanted to see is on. I haven't seen you in a while. Where are you? I'm like, dude, I just got into the pool. And then my friend was like, dude, you've been here for like 6 hours. I've been trying to get you out. Like, let's go. And I'm like, oh shit, for real? Best role of my life. It was so fun. That festival was dope.
So what is SAS? Like, I've heard of it, but is it just like
It's from the SAS Mastery. It's like Molly. You roll from it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I would do more research, like, I don't know if, like, I believe Molly is, like, a more, chemically, I don't know, I would look it up to see the difference, because I personally don't know the difference, because, like, Ecstasy, Molly, and SAS all give you a roll, but they're all, like, basically the same, but not. It's so confusing.
Well, I know Molly is an upper, and I think Ecstasy is, too. I don't know about SAS.
They're the same. They're all the same. They all make you roll. They're all uppers.
Okay, yeah. Well, so when I'm on it, I just want to party and have a good time. I never can get chill because I can't sleep on it.
Really? If it's good enough, I'm able to sleep on it. If it's cut with like a Coke or meth or I don't know, vitamin B maybe they cut with a couple other things too. If it's cut like really bad with that shit, I won't sleep, but if it's pretty like straight, then I can sleep on it.
I'll have to keep that in mind. Hopefully I don't get any dirty stuff, but you know.
It's all dirty at this point. Everything's cut with something at this point. Like everything's been so filtered, which sucks because like shit's dangerous to cut a lot.
I definitely feel like it's safer than it ever has been, except for like people putting fentanyl and stuff. But that's a whole nother story. But let's see what else do I got in here. I feel like this question kind of pertains to like the other one I asked you about a key to a happy life, but I'll ask it anyways just in case. Is there a moment you've experienced that has changed your life forever?
I mean, lots of moments have changed my life forever. I mean, that moment definitely did. Especially with, like, accepting that I was an addict and kind of, like, moving on from accepting that and starting to get better. I didn't get better right away. I think I still used every single day for about another 2-3 months, and then I switched to every couple weeks. So I, like, slowly cut myself off. But yeah, I think that one has been the most impactful currently, I would say.
Okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
Let's see. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you told me this before. So you told me that you're poly. What's that like? Is it challenging at times? I've heard it takes a lot of patience and trust, but like, what's your experience with it?
I haven't been into like an official poly relationship. When I was in a monogamous relationship and then opened up the relationship, I still didn't really get to date. It was kind of an abusive relationship. Like he was allowed to date other people, but it was a nightmare for me. But now
when you say it's a nightmare, like it was a nightmare that he was dating other people, or he was like, I can do this, but you can't.
Yeah, so like I was the one that recommended an open relationship, and then he would get pressed every time I was like, hey, I'm gonna go on a date with somebody, and then he'd be like, no, I don't want that, like I thought it would just be you and me, I didn't really think you'd take this seriously. And then like a couple days later he's like, oh, by the way, like I kind of want to start dating this girl, and we've already like kissed. And I was like, okay, double standard, that's cool.
Also fuck you, what the hell?
Are you drinking an entire pitcher?
It's I made a smoothie. It's dragon fruit, raspberry, and mango, and it's fucking awesome.
And you're just drinking it straight out the blender?
Hell yeah! It actually has a leak. It has a leak in it, and it gets like so thick that I couldn't pour it in a cup. So I'm like, fuck it. Straws out.
Well, at least you have a straw. But yeah, so like poly relationships, I currently am single and just like have a couple like friends with benefit situations. But I've had to cut a couple off just because they were in hopes of a relationship that was never going to happen. So, like, so far it's been shit. Nobody can get a grip. I communicate things very clearly. Like, we all get on the same page of, like, no serious relationship right now. Like, none of us want a relationship. And then they're like, hey, like, so relationship, you're still hooking up with other people? I thought we discussed we wouldn't do that. And it's like, no, we didn't. We discussed we would keep doing that. We were on the same page, and now you're flipping the page.
It's like you made me come and now I have feelings.
Yeah, basically it's like if you knew you were going to get feelings from that, why are you choosing to be friends with benefits? Clearly you can't handle it. Like some people can't, and that's not a problem. It's not a problem, but you can't hook up with somebody that you want a monogamous relationship in hopes that they want a monogamous relationship with you when they're ready to settle down. Because I'm not. And it's straight up, and I'm not going to be in a monogamous relationship ever. It's just not what I want. And so, like, the people that sit there and hope for me to change my mind while still, like, initiating a relationship or otherwise, it's a nightmare. It's a mess. It's chaotic.
And it's fucked up because, you know, maybe at first that's not what they want, or maybe it is. It kind of depends. But as soon as they get it, they're like, okay, what can I do to manipulate this person into...
Yeah.
Coercing them into being more than just friends with benefits. And it's like, if that's what you want, it's like, if that's what you want, were you really a friend to begin with, or were you just horny?
That part exactly. It's like, what? It's fine to just be horny, but you can't expect a relationship when we both established that that was not gonna happen.
Right.
And then get mad at me for not getting feelings.
And you're crossing a boundary too, like that what you thought was already established. It's like, come on, man.
So
I feel that.
Are kind of a mess. Anyways, we might get a bang from my sister walking past.
You might get a bang, like the energy drink?
No, she's gonna bang on my window.
Oh, okay. Oh, shit, we got a special guest coming in?
No, not yet. She's walking to throw the trash away.
Okay. I'm gonna take a good old sip of my schmoozy. Oh, did I show you my shirt yet? I don't think I showed it. It might be backwards, so if you can't read it.
Oh, I saw that on Instagram. The thing is horrifying. That thing is horrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
It's fucking hilarious. You can't,
It's so funny.
This is my podcast shirt. This is like the only place I'm gonna wear it. Maybe do a show. Okay. But I'm not gonna go to the grocery store.
I don't think you can wear it in public. I don't think you can. I think that would be like... Could you get fined for that? Is that technically indecency or just disrespectful?
Definitely disrespectful. Indecency? I don't know. I don't want, like, fucking Granny from across the road at the grocery store picking out some cereal and she sees this and it starts, like, crying. Like, we don't want that.
You gotta say hi to Austin?
Who?
Austin.
Hello.
I thought it was gonna be Ashley.
No.
You're on a podcast. Say hi.
Oh. He's recording a podcast.
Hey.
Hello. This is my twin.
I'm going to my kid now. Bye.
Okay, bye. I'll be in later.
Bye-bye.
I don't know. Haley messaged me a bunch. Okay, I'll text her. That was my twin.
Well, nice to meet her very briefly. I actually only have one more. I actually only have one more question for you anyway, so in case you need to get going.
Oh yeah.
You told me you're non-binary, right? I've had I've had a lot of people tell me, so I want to make sure.
Yeah.
How has that affected your life? Because I know there's a lot of people who will be like, oh, she's a woman, so they're going to call her she instead of they, and stuff like that. Like, what? Have you experienced any challenging times from it?
I mean, I'm pretty nonchalant and unbothered by most of the comments I've received about it. Like, I've had to cut off old friends who refuse to call me by my preferred name. They just continuously dead name me and think it was okay. Just kind of had to remove myself from them. But I kind of detached from my feelings from the relationship. Like, I was it sucks that they wanted to risk the friendship just because they just continued to dead name me. But at the same time, I would rather not have that person in my life, so I'm not upset, if that kind of makes sense. That, and just most people are just curious about what my dead name is, and they'll kind of press for it, and I'm not opposed to giving it. It's fine. I'd rather not, but again, doesn't bother me. If people use the wrong pronouns, I'm not upset about it. I'd prefer if they didn't, but at the same time, if they don't, it's a battle I don't care to fight. I mean,
yeah, but what happens if they just keep doing it and not try to learn from it?
Most people do try their best, and if they mess up, it's not a big deal for me at all, and they're not doing it maliciously. I can usually tell when somebody doesn't mean it, just from them looking at me, not obsessively saying sorry, just oh yeah, they, and quietly correcting and moving on. I'd much rather they quietly correct themselves and move on versus vehemently, however you fucking pronounce that word,
that was
apologize. Right. I try. I've cottonmouth really bad, so I feel like my words sound funny. I'm out of water too. I should have grabbed another bottle. I grabbed a little bit of water, like a dumbass. But just I usually most people don't do it maliciously. There's never really been much. There has been a couple, but those people were not in my life very long, just because I switched jobs a lot. I can't hold a job for the life of me. I just flake. I'll no call, no show constantly. So
story of my fucking life.
It gets really bad. It gets really, really bad. But yeah, so I haven't come across like too many like concerning situations, and if I do, they're not in my life for very long, to the point where like I get an attachment from it. I will like think about it a couple weeks later and like analyze the situation and realize like they were definitely being a bit more malicious than I was aware of at the time. But otherwise, I'm like detached. I am unbothered. I do not give a fuck. If you want to be a dick and transphobic and homophobic and overall just shitty, go for it. Not on me.
Has it ever like affected anything like really serious in your life, like a job opportunity or anything like that? Or for the most part, you think a lot of people are pretty okay about it, like in this day and age?
In this day and age, I've noticed most of the jobs I've been to, all of my interviewers have asked preferred pronouns, which is really, it was a huge shift from a couple years ago. Even just applying to jobs, they'll have, do you have a preferred name? Here's all the legal information that you need to have your legal name. You can use your preferred name. Like they'll like separate and have all of that on the interview questions, and then in the interview, like double check and everything. So it's like seriously accelerated from what it was just a couple years ago even, which is nice. So I've never had like an issue job wise about preferred pronouns, but I worked at like my detailing job or my last food job. I had some of like the managers and like employees kind of like haggle me about it, but again didn't stay long for any of that. And I never like reported them or anything. I probably could have, but it just, again, I wasn't gonna stay there for long. I knew I was gonna leave soon. They weren't like being physical, no like immediate danger or anything, and I just move on.
Yeah, no, I totally feel that. That kind of brings me to one last question I just thought of now, because that was something I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
But like, do you think having autism makes working a regular job hard? Like way more than just most people, or just being neurodivergent in general?
Neurodivergent, yes, in general. I think in general for anybody, nobody really wants to like spend the rest of their life working, but the society that we live in now, we kind of, it's just what it is with the machine. But with neurodivergency, I have worked jobs 50 plus hours before and could do it just fine because I was on so many stimulants and drugs, and I did it just fine. When I got off of those drugs, I started working 30 to 40 hours a week, 10-hour shifts, working with food and customer service, and I could not function. I had a mental breakdown. It was so mentally draining and just unbearable to deal with. And now I work 10 to 15 hours a week, weekends only, at this current job, and I am more than happy to go to work. I work for between 5 to 8 hours a shift. I get a paid 15-minute break and then an unpaid 30-minute break. So I get two breaks.
Sorry, not to interrupt. Are you talking about Taco Bell?
For the one that I was working like 30 to 40 hours a week, yes. The one I'm working at right now, I work at Hot Topic right now, and I only work like 2 shifts a week, and it's still customer service, so I still get really, really drained from the job. But because I'm not working such intense, long hours and I get breaks throughout it, it's so much easier to manage. It still is really rough to get like motivation, and I still get like really nervous because it's very customer based. Like I have to communicate and like engage with the customers.
Oh, I know. I used to work there. I get it.
Yeah, it's I love it. It's great. It's my favorite job I've had so far. It's wonderful, but I can definitely tell like neurodivergency is a struggle, because like working those long hours on drugs, I could do it. No drugs, long hours, couldn't do it. And now it's like I work less. I don't make shit. I have like no money, but I'm so much happier to continue to go to work every single weekend. I have motivation to go to work. I want to go to work instead of dreading it and then crying about it later.
And not to mention, a lot of the people who work there are, well, it's the emo goth outcast friends. You know, everyone's in the kind of the same boat, and it's like, these are my homies.
I love all of my coworkers. Yeah, all of my coworkers are great. There's not like all my other jobs, I hated somebody there. Like it's just like I didn't like working with most of the people at most of the jobs, but this job is the first job that I had that I love working with every single person. And it's like a really small employee base. It's only like 7 people, I think, and I love every single one.
That's awesome. I love that for you, because I feel like
Yeah.
there's a lot of people who work jobs, and the reason they don't like it may not even be the work, but it could be like the employees and the people they
And
work
being
with.
neurodivergent and not knowing how to like navigate, because I have very black and white thinking. So if you do something that's like really shitty and you just like later apologize, I'll still think you're the worst person in the world, and it's really hard to like start to like you if you were a dick once and trying to navigate that, and then if you continue just being a dick and not like apologizing, then I just want to kill you, and it's miserable and nobody's happy to work with you. It's rough.
Do you want to kill me? Have I ever been like a dick?
No, I don't work with you, so we're good.
Oh, it's only if you work with them. Okay.
Typically, yeah, because like at work, you have to see the people you work with like at most jobs 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, and it's a struggle to hang out with somebody you don't get along with, and even like not even hating somebody, just like the personalities don't clash, like you just have differences, like you don't fight, you just don't get along per se, and that's really hard to go to work to every single day for 5 days a week.
Right. It's either you force yourself to talk to them, like say, "Oh, hey, how's the weather? How's your day been?" Or it's like you just give them the cold shoulder, because it's like,
It's painful, it's weird, and it's like nobody's happy about it.
no, not at all. All right, well, that brings us to the final segment. I normally have like a little game that we play afterwards, but it is getting kind of late. I know you got to go, so we're gonna scrap that for now. But you need to show me and my 5 men behind me. Give me 1 second. I have these burly little dudes want to see your meme.
Okay, wait.
Show your boys the best meme. Also, I look like I'm in that Piper Perry like picture, like the black dudes in the back and the one girl on the couch.
How do you like? Do I send you the picture? What do I do here?
Do you see where it says message at the bottom of like this call?
I have a rocket ship.
Is there any like little text box that you can type in?
No. Oh, right here. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So
Here we go.
You just upload a file that way. I'm very curious to see what you gotta have, or see what you have for a meme words.
Wait, did it send?
Yes,
Wait.
yes,
Okay.
it did. Oh God.
Okay.
God has allowed me to live another day, and I'm about to make it everyone's problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to blur that in post, but
Wait, why?
his penis is out. But
What?
well,
Is
I
it
guess
really?
I think so. Oh yeah, that man's
Oh
whole
my God,
dick
it is. Oh yeah.
Wait, is that Jesus T-posing in the background?
Yeah, with the Pizza Hut.
I have a picture says 1,000 words. Am I right?
Yeah, no, and I think that perfectly describes me with the amount of chaos. Like, you don't know what's going on in that picture. And then just, like, the fact that God has allowed me to live another day. I am going to make it everybody's problem. I did not ask to be live. I'm going to fight and take names. I'm going to fight God.
Exactly. You know, I got shot out of someone's pussy, and I was crying, and I don't want to be here, but here I am.
Yeah, I'm here. I guess. I don't want to be.
You know what's hilarious? When I was born, my mom said that I wrapped the umbilical cord around my neck and like almost choked myself to death. I feel like I knew.
think you told me that.
Yeah, I think I knew what I was doing. I think I was like, hey, yo, I didn't sign up for this.
My dad only wanted one kid, and my mom popped out 2. So.
Were you the second one?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's a blessing in disguise, though.
Yeah, for my mom.
What?
For my mom, she was happy to have more than one kid again.
Well, I think you're a joy to be around. You've also been a very lovely guest. You've made great conversations. Great topics.
Thanks. You've been a lovely podcast host.
Thank you. This is only my 4th episode, so I'm still learning, but I'm doing my best.
Well, I didn't realize you've already done 4. Look at you go.
This is my second one today.
Oh my god.
I interviewed a local DJ. I think you know him, a boy matey Taylor.
Maybe.
He's
Don't.
That's okay.
If anybody meets me at a show, no, they didn't.
Oh no, okay, that's fair. But yeah,
I'm
no,
just
that it was him, and then there was like one a week ago and before that. But yeah, at least this time I got the audio correct, and you're not zoomed in. The other one I did was so bad, I was like, I can't even upload it.
Oh damn, that's lame.
I had 3 people in it, right? So they had like someone over here, someone here, and then my buddy here, and it was so zoomed in that you could only see like a part of his cheek, and I'm like, that's not fair. I can't upload it.
Yeah. That's intense.
But thank you, Robbie. You were a great guest.
Thank you. You were awesome too.
Thank you. Is there anything you want to share with the world before you go? Anything you want to plug? Socials? Anything?
My Instagram is Robbie_the_grave robber. That's it. That's all I got to plug for myself. I'm not really like an influencer or content kind of person, but I post pictures of my cats. So,
hey, you know what? There you go. That you already got a bunch of people screaming right now. Like, okay, I'm signing up.
no, I got 3 cats. We're good. We got you.
All right. Well, instead of that, let's do this. If you could give one word of advice to anyone, what would it be?
Breathe. Just breathe. You'll be okay. You've always been okay.
I love that. Well, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen, and non-binary folks, this has been Robbie.
Thank you. This has been Austin.
This is sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
And my audience here also thanks you. I don't know their names yet. Definitely one of them is Chad for sure, so that one's got to go.
Oh yeah, Chad, Brandon, Jay. Maybe Kellen. One of them can be Kellen.
We got one more.
Joe.
Oh God. I'm just kidding. All right, I'm gonna let you go. You have a great night.
You too. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. And thank you guys. Have a good night.